everybody? This is Robbie Diesel with Nerd News. I'm bringing you a very, very quick card prediction video for tonight's Night of Champions pay-per-view. If you haven't had the chance to watch WWE television in a while, tonight's card is pretty stacked. You got the WWE Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins doing double duty. You have every title in the company on the line tonight. I'm expecting at least one of them to change hands, but I think we're going to see three. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. On the pre-show, you got Neville, the man that gravity forgot, and Lucha Dragons teaming to take on Stardust and the Ascension, who are known now collectively as the Cosmic Wasteland. I don't really know how to feel about this one. This seems to be a continuation of the Stardust and Neville feud, which started way back before SummerSlam. This could be used as a means to be the blow-off match to kind of get the feud over and done with. I'm hoping that's exactly what happens. And because of that, I think tonight is going to be the night that you see Stardust and the Ascension go over Neville, ending the feud once and for all. Hopefully, if not, we could kind of see some rehash next month at Hell in a Cell. The next matchup, Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. This is another one that's kind of dragged out for way too long. I would like to see Dolph Ziggler used in another capacity, maybe, chasing the Intercontinental title or somewhere around the World Heavyweight title picture, or even the Intercontinental title. I feel like both he and Rusev could be used much, much better than, this kind of storyline over Lana and Summer Rae. And I'm hoping that this isn't more or less being used as a means to get the rivalry between those two ladies over, because it's kind of falling flat. I don't know how Rusev goes from being this unstoppable, unbeatable monster to a soft teddy bear, and who is, kind of a creep who can't get over Summer Rae, can't get over Lana. I don't see that happening. Of course, this is pro wrestling, so anything could happen. But I don't like the direction that this feud is headed in. Hopefully tonight is another conclusion type of setup for this feud, and I'm thinking Ziggs is gonna go over with some help by Summer Rae. Actually, I think how they've been teasing a little bit of tension, if you will, between the two on the last few Monday Night Raws. I think we can see that come into play tonight, and I think it's going to end up being Summer Rae who somehow cost Rusev the match. The next match, and this is the final non-title match on the card tonight, I am super excited and super anxious to see. You got the brand new Wyatt family, of course, Bray Wyatt. You got Luke Harper, and then this monster of a man, Braun Strowman, who might have the worst name that I've heard of in at least the last 10 years. Braun Strowman? Come on, guys. Come on. So you have the new Wyatt family, who have been decimating Roman Reigns and decimating Dean Ambrose for the last 3 weeks on WWE TV. And now you have Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose partnering together with a mystery partner. And nobody knows who this mystery partner is going to be. It looked like all signs were pointing towards Randy Orton at one point, which, I mean, let's be realistic here. He's not completely out of the picture. Jimmy Uso was another possibility, but come on. He has no feasible point to be in this feud. He has no beefs with the Wyatts, and hasn't had any beefs with the Wyatts in forever. So those were the two that were kind of teased. The internet is going crazy, saying that, the third member of that team could end up being Eric Rowan, which I'm hoping not. Last I heard, he was still injured. He was nursing a torn bicep, and that just happened maybe 6-8 weeks ago. And I know that's something that keeps you out for quite a while. So it might be a bit too early for Eric Rowan to show up. I'm hoping it's a bit too early for Eric Rowan to show up, because I can guarantee you this much. If Eric Rowan is revealed as the third man, you will hear and see the crowd go dead. That's it. Silence. Crickets. So I'm hoping that he's not the mystery partner. I feel like all signs are pointing towards Randy Orton, Mr. 5-second pose. I'm thinking that's who the partner is going to be. It may not be, though. My people that I think it could be and would garner the absolute loudest crowd reaction ever. There's 4 names in particular that I think could really, really, really pop the crowd and make this a really interesting matchup. Option number 1 is probably one of the more unrealistic options, but I would be pretty excited to see him go in a feud like this and utilize some of his arsenal. I could see them bringing Sami Zayn into the mix, and he could become a member of the Shield 2.0, if only for a night. He has a technique that is really, really similar, and a ring style that's very similar to Seth Rollins. High flyer, technical on the mat, and he matches Seth Rollins' archetype. Really, really similar. So they could plug him in and get basically the same moveset, the same feel, the same vibe as the original Shield. On a scale of 1 to 10 of how likely that's going to happen, I'm going to say right around a 4 or 5. Nobody's really seen Sami Zayn. He hasn't really been a fixture on NXT television in quite some time, but that's why he makes perfect sense. He can make a big splash. He was already introduced to the main roster crowd back 3 months ago when he faced John Cena for the U.S. title. So that could be something that it could pay dividends in terms of crowd reaction and match quality. Option 2 for the mystery partner could be Mr. Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is a name in the wrestling industry that isn't as big with the WWE crowd, but there's very few people who don't know who he is. He made a very big name for himself on the independent circuits and was one of the founding fathers of TNA. Was a very, very big part of TNA's success, and this could be his first night of being introduced to the main roster. Very much so like Kevin Owens was introduced to the main roster. Introduced, jetpack on the back, had a couple main event matches, could be looking at a short title run sometime soon. Who knows? So option 2 would be Samoa Joe. Option number 3, and this one is on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 1 in terms of all likelihood, but I would pop for it. I would absolutely be. Who wouldn't be excited for this guy? If the match starts, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are just kind of going at it. They're getting beat down, and out of nowhere you hear the music hit. If you smell what The Rock, you know the rest. The Rock runs in, lays a smackdown on all the Wyatts, hits a couple rock bottoms, people's elbow just for nostalgia's sake, and Ambrose and Reigns and The Rock go over the Wyatts, and I think that would be cool. It would be good to see. A nice little run-in moment. After all, The Rock already saved Roman Reigns' tail at the Royal Rumble. Remember, the crowd was super pissed and they were booing, and Rock came out and helped. Yeah, he didn't really help. No, he didn't really help. Okay, so, less likely. The fourth person that I'm thinking it could be, and this is a person that I'm actually hoping it is, and I'm hoping if it is him, that he comes out flak jacket, wrists and fists taped, all black, ready to go. I would love for the mystery partner to be Daniel Bryan. That would be insane to see Daniel Bryan, the young, the scrappy underdog, make his triumphant return at Night of Champions. And he has a history with the Wyatts. He has a history with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, actually. And he would make sense in this storyline. But it can't just be Daniel Bryan. It has to be, I'm ready to fight Daniel Bryan, hence the actual Shield get up. I would actually pop if the Shield came out. Not Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, but if the Shield music hit. Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta. If we hear that tonight, you know it's on. You know it's on. Back at Elimination Chamber last year, the Shield and the Wyatts put on probably one of the best matches that year. And I would absolutely love to see something like that happen again. But I digress. So I'm hoping Mystery Partners, Daniel Bryan, comment your predictions in the space below this video. Let me know who you think it could be. Next is the Intercontinental Title match. Ryback versus Kevin Owens. It's been kind of a slow build for this one. Ryback and Kevin Owens kind of beefed out. Kevin Owens came out on Raw, threw the book The Secret in Ryback's face, because that's Ryback's secret to success, positive thinking. And it's been a slow but steady build for this rivalry, and I think at the end of the day, this match will more or less be one of those matches that's used to kind of get Ryback over against an actual good wrestler. Because Ryback's first few challenges have been basically the Big Show and the Miz, who, you know, they serve a purpose, but they're not actual wrestlers who have not had great matches in quite some time. So I would love to see this one go 10-15 minutes, just all out, in your face brawl type hookup. I would love to see that. In the end, I'm thinking Ryback goes over. The New Day versus the Dudleys. The New Day is single-handedly the most entertaining act on the card right now. Hands down. No debating it whatsoever. Their first run was cut short, and I was really, really surprised that the New Day lost the titles to the Primetime Players. But I expect to see the New Day pull this one out by hook or crook somehow. The Dudleys are there. They will eventually get that 10th tag team title reign, but I think WWE is going to let them chase it for a little while. At least I hope. Nikki Bella versus Charlotte. This one's kind of tricky to call. They teased Charlotte winning the Divas title on Monday Night Raw. And honestly, I was a bit disappointed with how it played off. It felt like a really schmozzy end to the match, a really schmozzy way to give Nikki the longest reigning Divas title record. So, you know, all signs were pointing to Charlotte actually winning. But since Nikki has the longest title reign, what's to keep them from letting her continue it on? I mean, who knows? Maybe she'll go a year. I think that this match will have some sort of a schmozzy end to it too, but I expect to see Nikki Bella still walk out the longest reigning Divas champion, and I expect them to let Charlotte chase the title a little bit longer. But I can say this much. I think that if Charlotte does pull off the win tonight, which I'm not expecting, but if she does pull off the win tonight, expect to see that cause a little bit of tension in Team PCB, because Paige has adversely been on a bit of a losing streak lately. She has lost to both members of Team Bella and Team Bad, and she can't seem to get things together. So if Charlotte does win tonight, expect to see more storylines finally progress within the Divas division. At the end of the day, I'm calling it Nikki Bella continues her reign. The last two matches, and they may split them up differently on the card just so Rollins can get a little bit of rest in between. I would like to see Rollins win both titles and retain both titles, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Cena and Rollins match will go on early in the night, if not one of the first matches. And I expect that one to go quite a while. You know, that one might go 20, 30 minutes easily. And I fully expect to see Cena walk out with the U.S. title at at the end of the day, I think what he was doing with the U.S. Open Challenge was really good. We got to see matches that we never seen before, and I think that would be good for Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Raw ratings to have that continue. So, Rollins versus Cena. Cena goes over. Cena strong. Rollins versus Sting is another match that I think is going to have a bit of a schmozzy end to it. But I think the schmozzy end is going to come by way of, if not a double turn, then I think that Rollins is going to end up losing to Sting. And Sting's going to get to celebrate his first and only WWE World Heavyweight title reign, only to have Sheamus come out and cash in at the end of the night. And Sheamus will basically become the Authority's new pet guy. He's not afraid to take advice from Triple H, and he's not going to have that ego, because this is something that he's wanted for a while now since he returned from injury. So that's what I'm calling. I'm calling Seth Rollins is going to come in with 2 titles. He's going to leave with none. And I think what's going to happen is either Sting goes over dirty and becomes part of the Authority, or I think Sting goes over somewhat clean or by fault of the Authority, who are intentionally trying to screw Seth Rollins out of the title, leading to a Sheamus cash in and leading to Sheamus becoming part of the Authority. So, in summary, here is my card predictions. On the pre-show, Neville and the Lucha Dragons versus the Cosmic Wasteland. Cosmic Wasteland goes over. Dolph Ziggler over Rusev. Shield 2.0 with their mystery partner go over the Wyatts. Ryback retains against Kevin Owens. The New Day retain against the Dudleys. Nikki Bella retains against Charlotte. Rollins drops the U.S. title to Cena and drops the World Heavyweight title to Sting, but Sheamus cashes in at the end. All right, those are my predictions. Thank you so very much for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's try and get a bunch of likes on this. Let's share it out into the universe. If you like my videos, there's a couple more like this, more to come later. Subscribe to the channel. It's not just wrestling, it's tech, gadgets, whatever. So something for everybody. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I am Robbie Diesel, and you are not.